Welcome back to Hardball. For more on the brewing legal challenges to the NSA's secret domestic surveillance program, we turn to Rand Beers. He's a former senior director for combating terrorism on the National Security Council under President Bush. He quit his job in 2003 and became an advisor for Senator John Kerry's presidential campaign, claiming at the time that the Bush administration was making America less secure. You have been in counterterrorism for most of your career. When you heard about this FISA program and secret spying, did you know about it since you were in the White House?
No, I did not know about it while I was in the White House.
And what's your reaction finding out about it?
My reaction is that I'm concerned. Certainly the president has the authority to look for foreign agents. That's not the question. The question is, how did he go about this? Was he simply using a vacuum cleaner to look in every nook and cranny and then determining who they were? If he went that way, then I think he's overstepped the boundaries that we would expect for a president who is adhering to the Constitution to follow.
The White House said yesterday, this is not about people making calls to set up little league games or to attend a potluck dinner. This is about bad guys talking to bad guys. Most Americans say, that sounds legit. We got to catch these terrorists. We're looking at people who are in the United States who may be affiliates of al-Qaeda talking to people overseas. What's so bad about that?
There's nothing wrong with that. That's what FISA is about. FISA is about looking at people who are agents of foreign powers, in this case al-Qaeda. But if we don't know that that's the only thing that was being listened to, and we don't know that yet, then we have a problem that we need to understand.
So interesting. So you think, when you read about this, and one of course the very interesting stories we learned from the New York Times is that there's a lot of data mining going on, and in fact the NSA has been working with American phone companies at the switches and picking up a lot of information. So you think that they may have been fishing around and getting a lot other information other than conversations between suspected al-Qaeda people?
It would appear to be that that's the case, yes. That's what I think was going on. Otherwise, the procedures were well in place and could easily have been administered without having to go to this program.
Well, if that's true, then that's a huge story. Then they are spying on Americans, or could have been, without the proper safeguards.
That's right. And what they do with that information is what we should all be concerned about.
So what do you think happens then when this becomes huge hearings in the Senate? There are not just Democrats concerned about this on Capitol Hill, but Republicans concerned about that on Capitol Hill. You think this is going to turn out to be a blockbuster of a story well through the first couple of months of 2006?
I think it's going to last well into January and probably into February, and I hope that Congress provides the appropriate oversight, and I hope that we can resolve this in a legal fashion. I don't want to see the FISA Act trashed, but I do want Americans to be safeguarded.
Now, some people may say, you're a partisan. You quit the Bush White House and you went to work for Senator John Kerry. At the time during the campaign, you made the charge that this president has made America less secure. But the president looks like using this, that he's extremely aggressive, he's extremely on the offensive using this. Isn't he trying to make America more secure?
I believe that the president thinks he is trying to make America more secure, and the question is, are we making America more secure in a way that diminishes our place in the world, that diminishes our ability to marshal forces, to go against terrorists around the world? This on top of other actions that the president has taken with respect to torture and other things like that, create an image abroad that creates a problem for us. We've got to find the right balance in order to be able to proceed appropriately.
Finally, because you were the former senior director at the National Security Council under President Bush, I have to ask you about Osama bin Laden, because we're going to be talking about in the next segment. Do you believe we're going to find him anytime soon?
I think if we find him, it will be an accident or a piece of good fortune.
Why? Why do you say that?
Well, because I don't think at this particular point, now that he's been out and about, that we have the ability to cover the area in which he could be operating. We have, together with our friends in Pakistan, sought to diminish the area in which he was operating. But as time has gone on and on, I am less of the view that we can do that effectively enough to be able to say that we're actually closing the loop on him. So I think if we find him, it will be his mistake or our good fortune.
All right. Well, thank you, Rand Beers.